Winter Solstice is a fantastic graphic novel by a new writer. It is clever, it is funny, it is exciting, it is original, and it is brave. Elliott has taken on the mythology of Christmas and he has turned it on its head. Forget what you thought you knew about Father Christmas, because Elliott is going to give you a very new and original version.
Hello everyone, this is Clusterview and we are so excited to be talking to Elliott Ajai-Ajagbe about his new book, Winter's Solstice. It's a fantastic book, you're going to love it. So we're going to start the questions now. When did you know that you could write?
When I was really young, I always had stories. My mum was a theatre actress and she would bring to life stories either on the stage or when she was just reading to me. And so I had a strong desire to tell stories from a very young age, but I had difficulty with literacy. And so when I was 7 years old, I ended up going to a reading recovery. I remember just before that in class, the teacher said, "Can anybody spell is?" And my hand flew up. I was so excited. This was my time. Everybody looked at me with surprise. "Elliott, you don't know how to spell things. What's happening here?" The teacher looked at me. "Oh, wow. Elliott, are you actually going to spell something? Okay, let's hear it." I was ready. I thought, sound it out, sound it out. I smiled, looking around. Z. The whole class burst into laughter. I realized I got it wrong. But I was like, what? I sounded it out. And but I didn't give up. I laughed as well, realizing I got it wrong. And then I went to a specialist reading recovery program. I learned to read very quickly and write. And then I had a way to unleash and release the stories that I had inside me. So for a very long time.
Well, so you struggled to write and read at that point.
I did. It was really, really difficult. And I wasn't sure why I didn't get it. I wasn't dyslexic or anything. My mum worked really hard. Like I said, she would read amazing stories to me and I could memorize the books. And so any page I would know what was going on. But in another book, I couldn't understand those same words. And it was very confusing for all of us. But I mean, that's really helped me as a teacher now, because to simply understand that I didn't get it, and it didn't matter why, I just didn't get it. We needed to find another way. So when I'm working with a young person that doesn't get something, I'm like, okay, we'll find another way to help you understand that. But
So do you have to have a love of words to be a writer, though, first and foremost?
I think you have to have a love of stories and an expression, because a love of words can sometimes be scary, like, because if depending on your vocabulary, it can be, it's difficult for me to say or write these kind of words, but I still have an idea for a story. And I think through that you develop a love of words, because when your stories demand of you a better version, a better expression, when you realize that the words you have first put down don't do the idea justice, then you're like, okay, well, I need new words. I need to learn new ways to express myself. And so, yeah, I developed a strong love of words, and I've become a spoken word artist as well as a writer. And I go by wordplay, because words are very, very powerful and very important to me. So.
I think that's great what you said there. Talking about insight. You said that it's not really about words themselves can be quite scary, but there are different levels of words and there are different idioms, and so you can still do poetry.
Exactly.
You can do rap,
Yep.
and young people are finding a way to express themselves through rap.
Exactly, to release what they have inside them. And that's what, when I was younger, I wasn't interested in poetry, because people tried to teach me what poetry was, rather than allowing me to express myself through the techniques of poetry. And I realized I don't know what these young people have inside them, or elderly people. I've worked with 5 to 85-year-olds all around the world, and I don't know, and I don't expect to know what they have in them until they find a way to release it. And so it's more of a journey of how are we going to release the ideas through your vocabulary and your rhythm. And that's been a beautiful part of my life, definitely.
Great. Well, based on ideas, I'm going to talk about your idea right now. So your book is quite a daring thing. You're using a character that we know and love, and you're reshaping him.
Yes.
Why Santa?
because for me, Santa Claus, for everyone, Santa Claus is a really powerful myth and a beautiful story as it is told to us. We are told that this man goes around the whole world and provides for all the children. You know, he brings love and joy and a festive spirit. However, when you look at what we're told and when you look at what really happens, I mean, we know Santa is read through partially corporate interests, and so capitalism plays a heavy part in Christmas. The biggest question is, what did you get? It's not who came over, did you do something different with the turkey or the sprouts this year? It's what did you get? Capitalism. We've heard of Mrs. Claus. I have not seen her in years. Where is she? Sexism. Santa Claus was originally Saint Nicholas, and he was from the Turkish part of the world, a Turkish man. We've changed him to a European, and like I said, he's supposed to provide for all the children, but there are so many children he doesn't see. In fact, the children I usually see him with are European children in malls, and he's left out so much of the world. This is racism, basically, and so I'm not a terribly religious person, but it is supposed to be Jesus' birthday, and they don't share mince pies. He has replaced so much, and so I see capitalism. I see the embodiment of capitalism, sexism, racism, and religious deception, and I thought it's time to do something about that. And so my humbug assassins are going into the Empire Noel to take out the Holy Father Christmas on Christmas Eve.
Wow. Fantastic. Yeah, I love it. So, what was the process like writing this book? Because obviously there's a lot of stuff going on. It's great ideas. What was the process like? Was it an easy one? Was it a struggle?
It wasn't a struggle to write it. It was tiring. It did require resilience because nobody was waiting for this book. You know, nobody was expecting it or waiting for it. And so there are many times I thought to myself, I'm working so hard on other things. I'm tired. Maybe I should just leave it. But I had so much support around me. My godson, for example, is one of the people I've thanked in this book, because he would always come to me and say, have you written any more? It was such excitement and hope and belief that I was going to turn this idea into a book one day that he would be able to hold and read, and that helped motivate me so much. Friends who were not interested at all in graphic novels read my work and really enjoyed it. They're like, wow, this is a really interesting story, and so that helped to motivate me. Originally, I just wanted somebody to draw me a picture, because it was Christmas 2013 and I was sat at my uncle's table and I had this idea, an image in my head of Santa Claus looking very corporate on a gothic looking sleigh with a cigar in his mouth, with muscular, mean-looking reindeer in armour and elves in army green pointing their guns at the humans who were on their knees in the snow holding up piles of cash, because every time you see Santa you better pay. It's become a tax on the people, and I hoped someone would draw that for me, but when the more I concentrated on that image, this world fell out of it. Like I said, the Holy Father Christmas, and how much power he had and how much influence. We see it in corporations, we see it in the questions we ask of each other over Christmas. Like I said, what do we get? And so yes, while it had sometimes difficult, I had something to say. I wanted to share this with people, and so as well as my friends and family, there was the drive. I think I have a really interesting and powerful story, a really unique take on this huge myth that many people will be able to relate to and enjoy, so had to get it out there.
Fantastic, great stuff. Look, again, you're writing this book, obviously, I'm pointing at the obvious here, you're a black writer. My thoughts now is, how did this benefit, obviously I want you to tell me how it benefits the black diaspora overall.
Yeah. Because
you're writing this book, it's a great story, but my thoughts are, what do you want this book to do overall?
Well, I want people to look at the family again for Christmas, because my family, I told them years ago that I wasn't bringing any presents, and they were shocked at first. Like, what do you mean no presents? And I was like, okay, I'm going to come around with food and alcohol. And it's not enough to have me, food and alcohol. I'm in the wrong place at Christmas. I also wanted to show black people and the black family, and so at the heart of this story is Joshua and his family, his father Daniel and his mother Grace, as well as his uncle Louis, and just we see their love, we see their connection, and we see what Christmas has done to the family. And it gets dark and it's really, really powerful. But I wanted to show black heroes. There are not many of those within the comic book medium, and black people exist. We have stories, we have energy and ideas that imagine exactly. Now I wanted to show this is how I am dealing with some of the things that upset and anger me. Like I said, the racism, capitalism, sexism. I wanted to show people the black family from my own ideas and my own memories and my own life and experiences, rather than something that had been put onto our culture. The most prevalent story I see for black people is black people in the ghetto, some sort of ghetto, making their way up. Whereas the story that we are rarely told is about the black family, the black situation, the black culture that has strength, power, beauty and majesty, and how that is attacked and destroyed and taken down by racism and capitalism and ideals that simply want to take away and portray us in another light. This was my chance.
So this supports families overall.
Yes, most definitely.
Exactly. Basically, and that's what we want. We want families. Families work so well together, and once you start breaking that dynamic down, then you're weakening society overall.
Exactly. And so many attacks have been made on the family, and I mean, when your family feels nervous about the time the most obvious time we are supposed to be together, but they feel nervous. Oh, when am I going to get this person? As soon as you have to think, what am I going to get them? You understand they don't need anything, because otherwise you'd know. And so it really is about what Christmas has done to the family, and how, and this character's desire to fight that. This group, they've created a group of assassins called the Humbugs, because we have to be the antithesis of what Christmas in many ways has become, to allow Christmas to be what it is supposed to be. And this is the story I'm telling.
Do you want to tell us a little bit, like maybe a little part of a chapter or a little bit of a story?
Definitely. Okay. Well, like I say, this actually starts in Noel, the Empire Noel, and Lapland, specifically the fortress, and we see Joshua and his Uncle Lou, as well as the Humbugs, infiltrate. And there's a huge party, a massive celebration, because like I said, the Holy Father Christmas has a whole empire. This is huge. And so at this debaucherous celebration, when most people are like, hey, yes, thinking capitalist ideas and thinking just things that take away from their family and the purity of Christmas, our humbug assassins have come in to really make an impact, to take out, like I said, the embodiment of this terror, this nonsense, and take it down, take it apart, and really get in there. So we'll see humbugs come over the walls of the fortress. They take out some of the elves there. It's bloody, it's fun, it's dark, it's twisted, and there are some amazing illustrations in there as well by the artist Antonio Paide, who is an incredible genius. So.
Do you want to show us the book and just hold the book up?
Here we go. This is Winter Solstice, Volume 1, Precipice of a Dream, and I will show you a really amazing image. Here we are. It was amazing for me to be able to get my uncle into the book. My uncle showed me my first ever graphic novel and anime, and so I had to get him in there. There we are. Some of the image. This is my uncle decapitating 3 of the elven sentries as they infiltrate the fortress. You see, these are some of the other humbugs. Here, this character here is my brother. I've got my brothers in there. I've got my uncle in there. Like I said, this is about family, and this was my chance to show my love for my family and have some real fun taking down Christmas, or Santa anyway.
Yeah, we should all go away and obviously write a book and include our family members in it as well.
Definitely. I mean, it is so much fun to to sit there and I know my family, and so I can imagine them in these situations. I've designing the characters, talking to my artist, talking to my uncle. This is what I'm thinking for your character. Like they would, in seeing their faces, how much they felt honored to be in my book, but how much I was honored to be able to have these people in my life that so well fit into my idea of what Christmas should be, and this epic story. So. It's just crazy.
Well, okay, actually your uncle is not your only fan. Anyway, you got some famous fans too. Want to elaborate on those too?
Yes, I was very fortunate to be able to get Lenny from The Walking Dead, Lenny James, who plays Morgan in The Walking Dead, to have a read of my book, which he really, really enjoyed and gave me an amazing video review. To have somebody of that stature, a black British actor, you know, he's British gold, and so to have his enthusiasm for the project, to have his support in that way was amazing to me, because obviously I've seen the incredible work he's done, and so just to be able to have, like you say, the support of somebody in the industry at such a high level. The Walking Dead was originally a graphic novel, and so to have that connection, that support, it feels amazing. So I'm very, very fortunate.
He recognises the potential, shall I say?
Definitely.
Maybe he might play one of the lead characters.
I'm hoping to turn this into an anime at some point, and I have spoken to him, and he definitely said he would play one of the voices, and so I'm looking for him to play Daniel, who is Joshua's father in this piece, and he is Santa is like the Pope in this, and so that means he's voted in by the equivalent of the Cardinals, which is the Helkeir. I studied some Elven to make it as authentic as possible. Christmas traditions from all over the world, some Elven to put it in there, and the Helkeir mean like icy ones, the icy pillars, and so they are the pillars of Santa. They vote for the next Santa, and Daniel and Nicholas, Kris Kringle, they are up for Santa. One of them will be Santa, and then things go absolutely crazy. I won't reveal too much, but now Joshua is on a mission of vengeance against the old Saint Nick.
Well, thank you so much. It's great, but I'll answer one last thing. So, what's next for you? So I know you're doing this, and this is obviously going to be an ongoing thing, but you must have other ideas. What else? What do you plan? What do you think is next for you?
Well, right after this, I'm going to rehearse at the Museum of Childhood, because I'm performing in their Christmas play as well as their V&A. So that's amazing for me. Before I came here, I was working with one of my primary school groups, and we performed our end of term play. And they twisted the idea of some fairy tales, and we just had some real fun creating and expressing some new ideas and getting on the stage, building confidence. I work with several different theatre groups. I'm writing a commissioned play for the Victoria and Albert Museum next year. I'm working with some incredible people on a show that we plan to pitch to Netflix, a sci-fi show, and I'll be writing that, so that's absolutely incredible. I have almost finished the third book. I'm on the final chapter of Winter Solstice Volume 3, so I'm going to get that out for you. I've got 36 ideas for graphic novels, 2 cartoon series that I want to get out as well, and a novel that I'll be starting in the middle of next year. So quite a bit, and I'm really looking forward to getting it all.
Elliott, thank you so much for coming here and doing this interview with us. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it, and it just seems sky's the limit for you, my friend.
Definitely.
Wishing you well. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too. Thank you.